Yo, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I was actually thinking how long I should just sit there and wait and just.
Yeah, it make us feel uncomfortable for being late for you.
YouTube will have no idea.
Sorry.
We're fine.
Yeah. We actually, unfortunately, just had to watch you lose, which I hated. I said I don't want to go into it this way.
You know what? You know what's funny is you say that. You say how much you hated it.
Yeah.
The clip is about 15 seconds. I actually stopped watching at this point, and I came back about every minute. And you were still watching it for about 10 minutes. So I don't know if you really hated watching it. It seemed like you really enjoyed it.
No, it's just because
okay.
I wanted to say all the reasons I hated it. You know what I mean? It's like it's just unfair they did them like this, right? Not that
I was so bored. I went to like YouTube trending. I was like, oh, I wonder what's trending.
You fell asleep, dude. Watching lullabies here.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, man. We are doing the history of Rocket League. We've been talking about the early days, and we wanted to talk to someone who not only was a Rocket League pro, but also is like a fantastic, award-winning, by the way, content creator, and it might actually be willing to join this and talk to us.
Yeah, I think I can do that. I think I can join in. Stay what's up a little bit.
Kance, can I tell you a story really quick?
Go ahead. Tell us a story.
I need to admit something. Because sometimes I get really mad on this stream because I'll reach out to people and they won't respond. And I'm like, I'm just never going to do it. I'm not a collab guy. I pulled out my phone to message Rizzo. And I'm like, this is so exciting. I love this guy. He's so cool. He's definitely going to be down to do it. And I see a message from him 2 years ago. Hey, Stanz. Oh, would you like to do this thing on stream? It'd be really fun. No response.
No!
I got aired for 2 years.
He got aired for 2 years. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. And I imagine, because at the same time I'm talking to you, Cance, and you're like, yeah, message Rizzo. It's going to be so sick. I'm like, I'll do it. And I'm thinking.
Bro, I literally said to Stanz, I was like, I know that you have like collaborated before, so that you've got an in there.
Yeah,
but regardless of whether you had an in, I would want you to message Rizzo because he's the fucking GOAT, and it would be so sick if we could like get him to talk to him about this kind of stuff. So I was like pestering him, not realizing that he's fucking aired you. No.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there sweating, looking at my phone, going, "Oh no."
Hey, March 15th, 2022, worst day of my life.
It's tattooed on you.
Yep.
Hey,
never forget that.
To make you feel a bit better, Rizzo, this isn't the only time he's done this, even recently.
Okay.
Do you wanna tell the Max Fosh story again?
Okay,
Stan,
that one's bad because I'm actually still scared to reply on that one. And I'm like, I literally just a pure asshole. Max Fosh, huge YouTuber. We wanted to have him on Unpaid Intern. It didn't work out. He was in LA, wanted to hang out with me and Ludwig, was willing to drive across town from Santa Monica to where we were doing Fast 50. And then I was texting him and he's like, all right, what's the address? And then I was just on stream and I forgot.
No way.
Yeah, I was commentating. It's hard. It's hard.
The guy says, what's the address? And he doesn't give it. I'm imagining Max Fox just stood in the middle of LA like, just give me the address. I'll be there in 5. Just no fucking reply.
At least mine wasn't that bad. I feel better.
Yeah.
Sparing me.
So I wanted to set the stage. I'm a bad person, but now we're here and we're talking about Rocket League. That's all I want.
And I have to deal with this guy every day, Rizzo. So we can shake hands. We both hate this guy.
That's terrible.
Okay, let's get started. So, Rizzo, first of all, I want to say, just because, so you have context, I am a huge fan. I would say, and I'm saying that for everyone that's going to be watching, because I think that you are on the Mount Rushmore of like Rocket League GOATs.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming on today and blessing us with your presence. This is sick.
Of course, yeah. I wouldn't say blessing, but I'm happy to be here.
So your career has been pro and also YouTube. So I want to break those down into two separate things and maybe start with your esports career first, because I think it's hardest to visualize from like a viewer's perspective, looking at you as a player, kind of what your mindset is, what goes on behind the scenes with like esports stuff. And you've been competing for a while. So what's it like competing at like a pro level?
I would say, from, I guess, like a viewer perspective or something they might not know, is like, it is not exactly just playing a video game. There is a little bit more to it. You don't just kind of hop in and it's a bit, I mean, it's a big team sport, really. I think that's the best way to think about it. is it's very similar to team sports, and like every single day, you do go in there and you play your ranked twos, whatever game we're talking about here, but I guess Rocket League specifically. So you go and you play ranked twos, ranked threes, and do all that. But then afterwards, you have to go practice with your team as well. And you guys are actually doing the deep dive with Rocket League. A lot of times in team practice, you do deep dives with your team. You do replay reviews.
Right.
Some teams are or were a little bit uncomfortable with the idea of like calling each other out on like, can I swear?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Calling each other out on their bullshit, basically.
Right.
And for a long time, that was an issue in Rocket League. But like the team I was on, we're all just like, look, let's just be straight up with each other. Let's just tell like, hey, you fucking sucked here. And we
I can imagine that's really hard telling like your people that you're going to be on a team with, hey, that was shit. We need to work on those because we're bad at those.
Some people, some people can't handle it. And that is a big reason that a lot of teams just like disband.
Right.
It's easier to disband than to actually talk to a teammate about a problem. You just like actually you kick the can down the road.
Feedback. Yeah.
Dude, I've quit jobs because I didn't want to like do that kind of stuff and just found a new job. So I get it. I'm on the side of I would be a terrible professional gamer. I don't think I could have those hard conversations.
Well, Rizzo, you were on G2 for like years, and I feel that was one of the things that I was going to say, which is that the roster of G2 with you being like one of the core members feels like that lasted for a long period of time in comparison to a lot of other orgs and teams and stuff. So was that kind of the main drive behind that? Was that you were able to communicate better as a team than other people?
I don't know if it had more so to do with like the org of G2, but I think a big piece of it was that I was with JNAPS for so long.
Right. Okay.
I think we were teammates for like 4 years. I honestly can't even remember how long crazy. I was with G2.
Which is forever in Rocket League. I feel like these rosters shake up every year easily, if not twice a year, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember I teamed with Chicago for 2 years, so it was probably JNAPS was like 4. So I was probably, now I think about it, I teamed with JNAPS on G2 at the beginning, so that means I was with G2 for 4 years. So, but yeah, so I was with JNAPS for like the most time, basically, of like a lot of Rocket League players, a lot of Rocket League teams and stuff like that. So it was just easy to like talk to him. And then basically like when we got like Chicago on board, we're like, hey, look, we're just going to talk about stuff. We're going to call each other out. Like you have to be straight up with each other or else we're never going to improve. And he was like, okay. And so like at that point it was super easy because JNAPS and I like already did it. We're already like friends. So it made it a lot easier that way.
Was it tricky?
Oh, you first.
Oh, dear. Hey, we're busting with questions.
Yeah.
Was it tricky doing that online? Because I imagine, I don't know how much of that was like in person and like, I know obviously LANs and things would be, but for coaching and working together as a team, I'd imagine like if I was being coached through like a Discord call, I might, from an outside looking in, that seems a bit strange. But
you mute up and go on your phone real quick.
Yeah, you tab and they don't know, and it'd be tough. Yeah, sometimes I do that while Kance is talking, and he hates it.
He starts typing on all shit. It's crazy.
I think you can tell when somebody's like not listening. So I don't think we really. Well, yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think you can tell when somebody's not listening. So I think like we never had that issue on the squad. So it was pretty easy to just do it online as well. But there was a point where we actually did go to a team house and then like COVID happened and we basically got like stuck there.
Oh,
it was supposed to be like travel for like 2 weeks and then come back home, travel for 2 weeks, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was like travel for 2 weeks, COVID, lockdown, you're here for 6 months. Like it was my God, what just happened?
No.
Yeah, we basically got stuck there. But like we did both. We did it online and then we did it in person as well. I would say it was definitely easier in person because you could just like pull up replays on a big TV and be like, yo, you did something wrong here, sort of thing. But otherwise you would just like Discord screen share. So it wasn't that much different, but it's easier to tell if they're paying attention for sure.
Yeah. Daydreaming.
Yeah, they're literally just not looking. It seems to me like one of the advantages that you have, at least like when I'm hearing it, is like a sense of maturity compared to maybe other Rocket League teams or teams that aren't willing to do this. And one thing that I notice as I've looked into like Rocket League LANs, even through this, is that it seems like players are nicer, more polite than like I spent a lot of time managing Call of Duty teams and things like that. Is that something real? Like, is the Rocket League community better? Are they worse? Have I just not seen anything? Were you guys just a mature team in a sea of children?
Okay, so I think I still to this day, at least at the time, I still think we were one of like the better off teams, mainly because we could communicate with each other. I would hear so much stuff about like teams at that time where like it's like They would message.
You can spill the tea if you want to.
Oh, we get some juice, some drama.
I'll do it. I don't care. It's a long time ago, dude. I retired like 4 years ago, so it's just funny now. But you know, sometimes you'd be like scrimming or practicing, and like sometimes a team would end like 20 minutes early, and you'd be like, "What the hell?" And then like one guy would reach out and message, and be like, "I don't know what's wrong with this guy, man." Like they'd just be like, "I don't know. He just like gave up. He stopped talking after like game one, like stuff like that." Yeah. And so like that would happen so frequently.
I will tell you that happens in every esport. I've seen it. I've seen it in Counter-Strike. I've seen it in Valorant. It's so funny. Yeah. And the teams messaging each other is what hurts the most as a GM. You're like, don't tell them that we're having problems. Keep it inside.
Don't tell them.
Yeah,
it's so true though. But yeah, I would say like, because it was so bad to that point, like I couldn't believe that teams were doing that, or like they would play 2 games and then leave our scrim, like stuff like that. I'm like, you just practiced for 15 minutes and then left. Like, what do you mean you weren't down? Like we scheduled this a week ago. And then so that was like the main advantage I think we had as a team in general, was that we were able to just like communicate, and like nobody would flip their shit. Nobody would just start crying or whatever. I don't know. Right. But also you were talking about maturity. And as soon as you said that, I mean, in Rocket League, I'm like the fucking grandpa. Right. I'm like a relic.
I keep hearing that like 20-year-olds are too old. And then I'm sitting here going, I'm going to die. Yeah.
I was playing at, I think 23 or 22. Right. And they were like,
to be clear, extremely young. That is an extremely young age.
And they were like, dude, 1 foot in the grave. Come on. When are you going to retire? Like stuff, you know, it just didn't stop.
Yeah. Well, when you're competing against 12-year-olds, it is kind of like that. Right? Yeah. Like, what's going on here? They're crazy. Yeah.
That's wild. I am not very good at Rocket League, but I do like grinding games. And if I was to get better at Rocket League, like, do you think I'm 32 years old, it is like a mechanical deficit of mine? Like, could I go in and just practice? Could I like solo queue up and get good? Would I actually have to like learn Rocket League? Is it too late for me? What's your vision there?
I don't think it's too late for you. I think
that's huge copium. I'll say it. I've seen him play. There's no saving him.
Well, the thing is, if you've seen him play and it's that bad, there's always room for change. Okay, we can fix it.
Yeah.
You're too nice, Rizzo.
I think like for anybody, if you're starting Rocket League, like you could probably be. Oh, geez. No, this is actually going to hurt Kance here, because I heard him say he's like plat after 17 years or something like that.
Hey, take me out of the equation. I know where I stand. I know my level.
Anybody minus Kance, like if you play for like a year straight, full grind, you look at tips and tricks, I think you can get to Grand Champ like pretty consistently.
Okay. Anyone but me.
Yeah, exactly.
Minus Kance. Yeah.
I think here's the problem. Kance plays the game for fun.
You gotta be dedicated. Yes, you have to be dedicated. That's what I'm saying.
I actually would trade anything to be like Kance.
I wasn't playing every single day and grinding hours and, you know, doing it instead of my university degree. There's no... I was not. Yeah, I was not trying at all. Don't worry, guys. It's fine.
Exactly. A single tear falls from his eyes.
Moving on from that a little bit, because... how much of we were talking about practicing and trying to, you know, get good. How much of Rocket League 3s specifically, because obviously that's RLCS, is about like team synergy versus just like how good can a player that is just good by themselves carry a team, or do you think that's kind of not possible?
So I think it's a lot different now. I'm gonna hit you with a back in my day type thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I think back then, like being able to, like there were glimpses of players who you would watch, like Justin when he first got into the league, you'd watch him, and be like, okay, this guy's better than everybody. Like it's very obvious. But a lot of times it was just due to how a team worked together back then, and it's still true to this day because there's still ways that aren't as noticeable to like set up your teammates. It's just a lot more difficult. Like an example would be like 2 players are going for the ball and one player would try to like 50 the ball backwards because they know their teammate's there, sort of thing. It's not obvious that that's a play or like a pass, or they're trying to set their teammate up, but the ball goes in their lap and then they can set up a solo play, which is more so nowadays. And then like nowadays as well, you have players like Zen who basically, we're not at that part in the video yet, but Zen just an
Hey,
absolute
no, we
fan.
can get spoilers. We are
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I saw it live, so I know what my eyes saw. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, no, Zen is a freak. Dude, he turned, well, actually, I think, yeah, right when he turned 16, he was able to play. Mm-hmm. But then they lowered the age afterwards anyway. But regardless, yeah, he was able to play, eligible. He just goes and wins everything. And there was a very clear player there that was like really helping them win. They worked together as a team. They worked well as a team. Yeah. But Zen was like a huge reason that they were winning so much stuff. So I think it's a lot different nowadays. Teamwork is super important. It's not as noticeable, but you definitely do see a lot of like solo plays nowadays. Solo players, they're standout players, and I think they're more obvious in today's game.
Right. I think it's kind of like how Stanz was saying before. He would see someone do something and be like, I don't think they meant to do that. Yeah. It's those kind of plays where like a pass back that might not seem like an actual pass back, it was fully intended by the team, but it doesn't necessarily come across that way.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of moments like that, and it's hard to tell. There are many moments where you're like, did he do that on purpose? A lot of times, I just like to believe and choose to believe when it's like the top team. It's like, okay, they just tried to do that. They tried to make
they all
that
meant
50
to do it on
go
purpose.
right into that guy's lap so they can score.
I mean, it's more fun to watch it that way. Why be a cynic? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, let's believe that they're all doing it.
Yeah,
well,
and then they upload
we're talking
YouTube
about
video.
you here, so I don't know. Why are you saying that? Weren't you the one who was doubting?
Yeah, but I want to be a bigger, better man. The thing about me, I have a lot of grumpiness in my heart. I'm trying to let it out.
He's a cynical motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's move on to the content side, because obviously on top of being a pro player for years, you are also a Rocket League content creator. Woo!
Yay!
That was a very half-hearted yay from both of you, but I'll accept it, sure.
You don't know, well, you might know, Stanz, but that phrase currently in this kind of climate maybe isn't as happy-go-lucky as it used to be. We can touch on that a little bit. I know Rizzo's made a couple videos talking about that. But let's go back to the dreamy good days. When you were playing Rocket League, Rizzo, what made you get into the content creation side of things?
So this actually goes like way before Rocket League. So like I've been streaming Rocket League for like probably like 9 years, 9 years or something like that. But I used to make Minecraft videos when I was like 12.
Oh, that's so sick.
I think most people,
everybody.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm 28. I also made Minecraft videos when I was 12. Cool. We were all here.
Yeah. So I always had like, not content brain. That's a bad word for it. But I always had like an itch for content. I always wanted to make videos and be a YouTuber sort of thing.
Right.
So the only time I really saw success was with Rocket League.
Right. You became a Rocket League pro to satisfy your itch of being a YouTuber. It's so funny to me. You're like, I'm winning tournaments here.
There was a very long, there's a long-winded story with my competitive career where I was like halfway in, halfway out, because it was like, well, I could just quit and do content, but it's kind of cool to still keep doing this. But I always had like the fallback of content, and content was always what I truly wanted to do. I actually kind of just fell into being a pro player, unironically. It just kind of happened, and I just happened to have like a really cool career.
There's so many people out there who grind their game every day and work so hard, and then pros are like, yeah, I guess I was just kind of good. It is fun. I've seen that in every game, like the levels. You'll hand them a controller or like, hey, you should try this game Counter-Strike, and they're already better than you, and you're like, well, that's fucked.
I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
I honestly, I went on a tangent there. What was the original question?
How did you get into it? So you kind of...
You always wanted to make content.
Yeah,
in my mind, it was that you were really good at Rocket League, so then it was an aside that you decided to make YouTube videos on it, but it sounds like it's the other way around. You wanted to make YouTube videos, and then you were just awesome.
People were just watching your Rocket League videos a lot.
Yeah, so I was part of like a Minecraft community or whatever, so I would make like videos on Minecraft, and I basically stopped. I didn't know what to do or whatever, and I was like basically done with YouTube at this point, and content, whatever. I was just whatever, and I just started playing Rocket League with my Minecraft buddies, and I recorded some of the stuff, but I was just checking out Rocket League, and I went to Twitch, and I saw this guy named Low5, and he doesn't stream anymore, but he was actually my first teammate, or one of my first teammates, and we actually made RLCS together.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Yeah, we made season 1 of RLCS, and I saw him streaming, and he was playing, and he was basically like my level, and I would play with him a bunch. And I was like, well, if he streams, I can stream. Like, why can't I stream on my stream? So then I started streaming. Like, we were the same level. We would always play. He would stream all that stuff. And so that's basically just how I actually got into streaming Rocket League, was because of him. And
Sick.
I didn't do YouTube until, I think, I probably uploaded here and there a couple YouTube videos. But there was one day, if you recognize the name Wolfless or Rob.
Yes, dude. I was
Chance
hoping you
does,
would. Yeah, I don't know if Stanz
Do you know that name?
I do not, but I will say that there is on Kansas' list of questions. He's like, I hope he talks about this. If not, I'm going to ask him.
Don't leak behind the scenes.
Okay, so the way that started was actually super odd. So like, I was streaming at the time, and I would stream to like a couple hundred viewers. And Wolfless comes into my stream, and he's just known as like a Rocket League guy at this point. He was like, he used to be a Minecraft guy. Now he's a Rocket League guy, and he would record with a man named John Sandman, who I still talk to this day. I don't talk to Rob as much because he's busy, but regardless, Wolfless comes in my chat, and he gives me, I think, 5,000 bits, whatever the equivalent is to $50.
Sure. Yeah.
5,000. Yeah. And he comes in and he goes, "You want to play a couple games?" And I was like, "Sure, you just pay me $50 to play a couple."
Yeah. I'm yours.
I know who you are. I was like, "I know who you are. Let's go." And we played a couple games, whatever. And it was super chill. I didn't even like record it, anything. We just played. And then he ends up like talking to me a little bit afterwards, and he goes, "Oh, dude," he's like, you need to upload on YouTube." I was like, "Why?" And he basically explains this whole thing. He's like, "You need to do this, whatever." And he's like, "Show me your YouTube channel, whatever." And I link it, and he goes, "Oh, dude, this title sucks. This thumbnail sucks."
Oh, no.
And he's like, "This is so stupid. Like, you shouldn't do this. Like, do this, do exactly this." He's like, "You're gonna record with me," and like basically just like completely got me into it. It was the most random thing. I was like, "I don't even like know you, but like, sure."
Dude, that's
okay,
so sick, though.
I was like, he knows what he's doing.
He took you under his wing.
He literally he robbed me. Yeah, he just took me. He stole me. It was insane. And so like from that day basically onwards, I just became like a YouTuber as well. And I would always record with John. Rob he was there, and he kind of faded off eventually, but I would still record with John for many years later, and he introduced me to John as well.
Yeah, the whole F2 and you guys making content with each other, and that was like, for me, that is peak YouTube Rocket League. It was
like the 2017 era.
Yeah, 2017, 2018 was like goes. You doing your Risen Sizz fucking 2v2 series.
Yep.
There's then you've also got people like Sunless Khan. Lethamir would do like all the fucking custom maps and mods and stuff. That's one thing that I guess I kind of wanted to touch on is at its peak, what was some of your like favorite moments slash types of videos or creators, or like what's your fondest memories of like that time?
I think about this every now and then. Looking back, I think some of my favorite things is basically just like anything with John and anything with Sizz. There's super simplistic videos with Sizz of like us just recording twos. But if I could just like go back to today, or not go back to, that doesn't make sense. But if I could just like go back to that and do it today, I think that like and truly enjoy it, because back then like I truly enjoyed like every single moment of that. Eventually, the enjoyment faded away of like those types of videos. But if I could do that today, that would just
with the same love and enjoyment as you
exactly. It's just about the enjoyment of it, really. Yeah. And then also stuff with John, we would do like challenges all the time. There was modded stuff like you mentioned, but the mod support for Rocket League was something that like so many people have begged for, even still to this day, like mod support or game mode support. That has just
some of the maps that
existed.
are made without any support is insane. Some of the levels of things that exist.
Third-party tools, like third-party
it's crazy.
creators. Yeah, so nothing actually official from the game to help support mods, which is, I guess, Steam Workshop, but to get it on a server, you needed a third-party tool. It's just like you could only free play it by yourself.
Or like Epic Games now related, like supported tools or anything. Yeah, it sucks. But the stuff that people have made, the mods and the custom maps and stuff, truly like elevated some of the YouTube videos back in the peak. It was sick.
Yeah, there was a lot of super funny mods. There's one specifically that I still look back at to this day, and it was a random map that we found on the Steam Workshop, and it was a dinosaur map, and I showed it to Sizz and I linked it to him, and it was this guy, or this dad, his kid had drawn dinosaurs on a piece of paper, and so he 3D modeled them and put them on a map, and they would move around, And it was the worst, like most clunky map, but it was so funny.
It was a labor of love, man. Why would you say that?
It was so funny.
It was dog shit. He made it for his
A
son.
pterodactyl come out of nowhere and save a shot while I'm 1v1ing Sizz. That like it just made the most entertaining video out of.
I was gonna say
nothing.
you made a video on this. I need to
Out
find
of
this.
nothing. It was so funny.
That's
What
so
would I
sick.
even search to find that dinosaur map, Rizzo?
Probably pops
Yeah, that
up.
probably would work. So you are at this time competing, you're making these videos. Obviously, this is like a labor of love for you. You're nostalgic for the time now. How important, and this is coming from someone who like saw the advent of streaming blow up League of Legends, how important were these YouTube videos and this like YouTube scene to promoting the game of Rocket League in your eyes?
I don't really know anything. Like I think the YouTube videos in general, I think were super important because this is also a time basically before like short form, before TikTok, shorts, all that stuff.
Which is
So I think
perfect
that
for Rocket League, right? Because it's like fast. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think YouTube was really the only way that Rocket League did get advertised besides like the Rocket League esport, at least from like my perspective, right? Because I know Rocket League was free on PlayStation for like 3 years or so. I don't know if it was that long, but it seemed like 3 years. It was free on PlayStation forever. And it was like you had to pay for it, or free on PlayStation Plus.
Yes.
So if you had PlayStation Plus, you can get the game for free. So I think that was like a big marketing thing for them. It's like people got into it because it was free. I don't know how long that lasted, but then the only other thing I can think of was YouTube videos and like the RLCS and like Rocket League Esports, because like Rocket League Esports was mainly dominated on Twitch. I'm sure there's like clips and stuff, but they didn't really do much on YouTube with it. They just uploaded their games.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of that fell into like the creators' hands of like, I guess like advertising the game, although it's like wasn't their responsibility. You know, it ended up just being that anyway. And so there were not a lot of creators on Rocket League. Like there's more creators nowadays that there's less interest in Rocket League, just like as a grand scheme, you know, compared to back then where there was a lot, like tons of interest on YouTube, so many people, and there was like a lot less creators. So it was like between 5-10 people, what it seemed like.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
It's super interesting because I feel like that is kind of, there's a lot of things we'll touch on the current like state of Rocket League. That's the next part of the dive, so we'll touch on that a little bit here. But I think that a big reason why Rocket League had so many people interested in it and the esports scene and stuff is because of, as you said, like the 5 people that were making YouTube videos on it, is them bringing there was such an audience there for them that with having people like you, Rizzo, who do pro, who were in a team, would talk about how great they were, and you'd see like the feats that they were able to do just in casual like 2v2s or whatever. To then be like, oh, I want to see them like competing at like the highest level, and then they get interested in esports. It seems like that kind of pipeline doesn't really exist anymore because of the lack of content and stuff.
I think that is an excellent way to explain it, actually, because there was so many people at the beginning of the game, and I know you learned about this in your deep dive with Kronovi. He would stream super early on, and some of his best streams, this is way back, these are like the first tournaments, $75 tournaments, ESL, weeklies. They would do them every single week. And he would stream, I would think he would stream them every single Sunday. People would like wake up Sunday morning and be like, oh my God,
gotta watch Kronovi.
$75 Rocket League tournament. Yeah. And so he would do those. And I don't know if he uploaded them on YouTube. He probably did a couple of them, but I know his Twitch viewership would be like way higher during like the random tourneys. And it was just more so like seeing the capabilities of what people could do.
I mean, I know my normie friends showed me Kronovi because they literally just Googled like how to win at Rocket League, like in the early days. And then they were like, dude, check this out. He's like flying. And I was like, okay, that's how I got into it. So I think bridging the gap or the pipeline is like a perfect explanation for a game that has extreme normie appeal to then be like led through fun content or interesting content all the way to RLCS.
Yeah, I think Rocket League was super unique in that way because also with SARP, right? So you had the SARP vets. Kronovi was the first one, or not the first one, sorry, but like the main one.
Yes.
And so like people would watch him, see what people could do in Rocket League. And then eventually you'd find some other people, you know, you could throw me in there. I was a SARP vet, but like, you know, around 2017,
You were a SARP
People
guy?
like, oh,
You were a SARPer?
No, I was not a SARPer.
Oh, I thought you said you were. I was okay.
No, I was not. But what I'm saying
But
is, like,
he was
I was
an
a pro
early on.
player
He's a
in the
grandpa.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was a pro player in the early days. So people were just like noobs, right? You want to see what's possible. You want to see what people are capable of. But nowadays, it's like, you know, I mean, I can't even do most of the shit people do in my Grand Champ lobbies. Like in the same lobbies as me. It's like everybody is super good. The game has progressed so much that it's like nothing. Well, sorry, this is a personal opinion now. Nothing feels as impressive as it did with your looking up to the skies, seeing somebody flying, going
for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
once
now,
you see someone actually do it, like flying, the concept of like flying but better is a bit harder to like. There's more of a gap between there's less of a gap, sorry, than just literally being able to fly.
I will say when I saw flip reset for the first time, that also blew my mind. But yeah, those were the two big things. It was like, hey, actually just flying, controlling it in the air, and then a flip reset to get a goal. I was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah, but now it's like, I don't want to say anybody can do that, like, but it really does feel like everybody you watch can do those sort of things. So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's harder to watch one person who feels
exactly.
like special at that moment. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
With what you're saying, Rizzo, this is kind of moving over to the esports things again, but do you think that there will ever be like a skill ceiling, like a peak of Rocket League skill? Where it like plateaus, or do you think because there's always new techs being made, do you think there's a point where there will be like there is nothing else to be found in this game? Or
I think the only way you truly find that is if the esport like starts or does cease to exist, right? Because once there's no interest from new players coming into the game, they will always continuously push each other.
Right.
To
fresh ideas
on greater and greater levels. Yeah, it'll just keep going up until, God forbid, the esport disappears, or something like that 30 years down the line or whatever it might be,
I think it's kind of rare that Rocket League has that though. I think a lot of like you can get better at a game, but most games have like you just like better aim or whatever. There's not like you're not learning a new skill or like a new tech that you're going to add to the thing. I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of mainly a Rocket League guy when it comes to esports, so Stanz, I could be wrong.
Modern games, it's very little new tech. Older games, because in the same way that you talked about it with Rocket League, like you discover them by necessity because younger players are coming up. Like I play a lot of Super Smash Bros. Melee, and when I first started, like one guy shield dropping, which is a tech in that game, was like, wow, that's crazy. We're never going to do that. It can't be good. And now everyone is shield dropping. Everyone has the modded controller. Everyone's never missing an L cancel. Versus in games like, I don't know, CSGO, it's like, hey, you'll learn new boosts for the map, you'll learn new lineups, but like the game is just skill. Like just shoot their head. Make sure you're doing it right.
Yeah, can I relate that to a Rocket League thing real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Please do. That's what I would love for you to do.
What'd you say, shield drop?
Yeah, in Melee, shield dropping was something that is like a weird movement that lets you go from on top of a platform with your shield up to below it instantly. And it's not even hard. At the time, we thought it was hard. This is 2014.
Okay, so this reminds me of something called a half flip, actually. So there's in season 1, there was a team at the LAN event called like the Flying Dutchman, and I think the player who said this was named Devogan. But half flipping it's a pretty simple mechanic. You put in maybe 5 minutes of effort to learn it, you probably got it down. But Vogan,
I can half flip, right? Yeah, this
yeah, exactly.
Now I can tell you play for fun because now I'm saying it like that.
Okay,
you're a for fun type of guy. I get that.
I love just having fun. Yay.
But Vogan, yeah, he goes on and says half flipping is usually like I've overextended. Let me half flip to get back and like rotate back. Okay. Vogan said he's like, no, I don't want to learn to half flip. I'm not going to learn how to half flip because that means that I've already mispositioned. So he refused to learn how to rotate back faster.
That's such a funny mindset.
There's literally a Melee player named Mango who's like, I'm never going to learn to shield drop. I'll just actually not put myself in those positions. Obviously, he learned to shield drop since then. But in 2014, he said the same thing. Exactly. I'm already good. I'll play good neutral. I don't have to learn this tech.
But that's the thing. And then exactly what you said, you end up learning it out of necessity because eventually you have to shield drop or eventually you have to half flip. So you need to know how to do it.
Yeah.
You either learn how to do it, or you become washed up like me.
Yeah, exactly. You don't play the game anymore. That's so funny.
Yeah,
I think in doing like research for this dive, I found like an old clip, and I think it was during a Kronovi stream that was talking about half flips, and the way that it was talked about was something like, "Oh, well, we don't need to do that," but it was like, "Oh, he attempted a half flip. I guess that was cool," as though it was like a flashy thing and not like something that every single player needs to know and knows now. Yeah, it's so interesting, the mindset changing.
What is, I mean, you're talking about like, oh man, I'm not going to learn these new things. I'm just going to retire. I have content to fall back on. What is like the most impressive tech to you, who was one time a pro player in current Rocket League?
So I think one of the craziest things that I'm seeing people do nowadays is like you know what's crazy is as I'm about to say this, I'm like, it's pretty simple, but it's not like, but it's a double flip reset. So like, obviously, you know, the flip reset, right?
Yeah.
You go, you get the ball hits your wheels, all four wheels, and you get a flip.
Yeah.
But then they align their car in a specific way while in the air still to flip. And as they're flipping, the ball hits the bottom of their car again. So they time it. They air roll perfectly, time the double flip, have the ball hit it again.
Under the car. It's
yes.
crazy.
And it slowly like pushes the ball forward. It's like you use the flip, but essentially they catch the ball again
and they get their flip back again, and they're still.
And then they do it
ball.
again, and then they can use the flip. And it's so confusing to read as a defender, but also it's like you can consistently see people do it.
Yeah,
and it's just
and
going
then
to
you got
keep
people like
getting
Daniel
better.
doing that, like doing triple flip resets in RLCS. It's like,
Yes,
how,
and they
how
try
are
to
you
do,
able
like,
to do that?
triples and quads because they're like, oh, need another one. Oh, need another one.
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff that you would like be impressed at watching in like a replay of someone doing it literally in free play. That like people are doing it at a competitive level. Shit's fucking insane. The levels is crazy.
So somebody actually brings us up, Stolp, in your chat. I'm streaming for you now, by the way, buddy.
Thank you. Hey, good streamer alert. During deep dives, I ignore them. I stare at the camera and they do this understandsing meme. It's good. Don't worry about it.
Understands. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
But I heard Kance bring this up as well. I think you mentioned that something about the physics have always been the same, but sometimes they've broken them and then like tried to fix them. They have not been the same. But it's been an accident just about every single time.
Right. It's not
so they've tried to keep them the same. But regardless, flip resets have actually like always been in the game. And the interesting thing about flip resets is from day one, you could have the ball hit the bottom of your car and you would have a flip reset. But the reason why that changed and the meta shifted so fast is because there is a map called Underpass. And it looks like Neo Tokyo for any Rocket League heads who know the maps, but it's Underpass and it had a ramp. It was a very odd shaped map. People didn't like it. It got removed. Regardless, the community and like Psyonix, when you would play on Underpass, it was really wonky. And if you went off the ramp, you wouldn't have a flip. So Psyonix decided, along with the community, that it would be better if you fell off of a surface that you would keep your flip forever.
I see.
Usually it's like 1.5 seconds. Like you jump and you have 1.5 seconds to use your flip. But if you fall off the ceiling, a surface, go off a ramp, the back of net, the post, whatever, you keep your flip. As long as you didn't jump initially, you have your flip forever. So when that happened, people were actually able to use flip resets in the sense that like you could get the flip reset and then just hold the flip. And so it became a billion times harder to defend it because you didn't have to use the flip within 1.5 seconds.
Right, yeah.
And so that was like a big meta shift in Rocket League when it's probably like 2017 or something. So it's like flip resets always existed. People were kind of trying to do them. It's kind of doing them, but they were never like good. They were never
Yeah,
pretty.
they were made OP by the fact that all of a sudden you had the power to do it at any point. And if you're dropping off the ceiling, you have a long time to drop.
Yeah, exactly. So you could drop off the ceiling, hold the flip, get a flip reset, hold the flip. As long as you just didn't use it, you would have it forever. So it was very hard to read at that point.
That's sick. That's cool. That's great lore.
Super interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got one thing that I want to ask. We'll move back over to YouTube-y stuff for a second. What was your favorite YouTube video to make, Rizzo? And
well, that's an easy one, to be clear.
Why was it Brosy Pros with this jabroni?
Yeah, that one. Okay, so that one.
It doesn't have to be that one. It doesn't have to be that. It shouldn't be that one, actually. It shouldn't be that one. Everyone here knows about that one. It's besides that one.
Well, I don't know, because when you were messaging me, I started to think about that. I was like, how, like, you know, how I met you, how I got introduced to you, stuff like that. Was that I think that came at like a really weird time. I thought, because it was like, I mean, I think it was still COVID, but it was like.
Yeah, early on during
it was really odd because I remember specifically, like, people were like, Ludwig wants to play with you in my chat. And I was like, now? And it was like, I don't know, it was super random time, but they're like, no. And he said, not now. I was like, okay. But it was really weird. Anyway, that was a really fun one to make. I'll throw that back. I was super nervous for that, by the way. I wanted to throw that out there. Yes.
Oh my God.
Like,
you realized quickly you didn't have to be.
No. It was more so just, I think it was just more so like, the amount of people that were seeing, or like I wanted to also just make like a good impression.
Yeah.
I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be chill, you know?
Yeah. That's so
Stanz hates you. You failed, by the way.
Now I've learned
he
that,
talks shit about you all the time.
Yeah, I know. But now I've learned if somebody don't like the real me, hey, they ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, you've grown as a human.
Yeah, I've really grown. But man, my favorite video to make, that's such a hard question. I mean, definitely like.
I guess a singular video is hard.
Bros versus Bro is actually like up there. I'm not even just glazing right now.
Yeah. And if you were, that's
like
okay.
a series maybe, or like
I do think so a series. Yeah, I think the easiest one, like one of my favorites, was to just do a bunch of stuff with John. So we did a bunch of challenges where like he was basically, honestly, it was kind of like bro versus pro, but like it was just a 1v1. And I would have,
yeah, you're right.
I would have handicaps a lot of times because like I was the pro, I was better than him. He was like a little old noob, and like that was kind of the reoccurring theme of the series. And so we would do challenges where like I would have to unbind buttons or whatever, or it'd be on like a funny map, or it would be modded something, but I would have some sort of disadvantage most of the time. And I think what I loved the most about that was just having like this consistent video or this consistent recording that was just so different every time. Like we would always do something new, or we would try to, at least. Sometimes we brought stuff back, but regardless, we would always try to do something new. So it was super fun and super fresh every single time. So I think that's like
the like concept was sick because it was always you two, like as you described, pro versus not pro, but then the thing that was happening always changed, and that being the variable that was like you don't know what's going to happen, but you know it's going to be at least an entertaining video. That it was sick.
Yeah, and sometimes with the modded stuff, it was so buggy. Like I said, like the dinosaur map, like sometimes the dinosaurs wouldn't move on your screen, but they would just kick the ball somewhere. And so it's like, why did the ball just fly out of nowhere? It's like, oh, I saw the dinosaur move. You did it that time. But it's like stuff like that. Like it would just be so wonky that it was silly. It was just funny. And you don't know what's going to happen. You truly don't know what's going to happen because it's so buggy and not. I
found the dinosaur map video, by the way, so Stan's can have a visual.
Yeah, that is chaos. Love that one.
Dude, they're beautiful. The dinosaurs are beautiful. Oh my God, there's so many of them.
They are. It's an insane map. I love the fact that it's just drawings from this guy's son. That's
you getting scored on and slamming your desk in the dinosaur map is so funny to me. God damn it.
There was passion in this.
Yeah.
We wanted to beat each other with this.
It's so funny.
Okay, changing pace a little bit. Let's jump from the good old days to the current day. And it's jumping ahead a little bit in the deep dive, but I want to talk about the current state of like Rocket League, because Rizzo, I know you've had and have lots of opinions and have talked a lot on your
puts
YouTube
on a headband. He's ready to go in.
Yeah, hold on.
So I'm gonna cover most of kind of like what's happened. So Stanz is in the loop.
Okay,
so
cool.
You don't need to go through any of that. But I have one question for you about it. If you had the option to change just one thing currently in Rocket League, what would it be?
Creative mode.
Oh my God,
Fortnite.
that was instant.
Like Fortnite has, or Roblox has, or any other game that's similar to that.
Yeah, like Fortnite that's owned by Epic Games has. You know, it would
exactly.
be. There's maybe hints to Stanz if he doesn't know, but that would be seemingly kind of easy currently. But
you would think so, yeah.
I think the idea of creative mode for me comes from all like the series I did with John, because if there's a creative mode in Rocket League, I could just.
You could just do dinosaurs every day, man.
Every single day, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think I'm probably biased in that regard. I'm sure others would like many other changes, but I honestly can't think of like, I feel like to me, that's like the best thing they can truly add. Whether it's my content or like, I'm trying to think about it in an unbiased perspective. I think it's also good in an unbiased perspective as well.
I completely agree. Maybe I'm also slightly biased, but thinking about it from kind of what we were saying about how currently there isn't really any like YouTube hype for Rocket League because there's just the audience doesn't seem to be there. I would think the audience would be there if there was just new, fresh things and the creative mode. Like if you and John came back and did a whole new series on like creative mode maps and stuff, if they actually did something like that, I still think the audience would be there. I think it'd be sick, and it would bring more people back into Rocket League, and it'd be really cool, and it'd be great.
And the pipeline would be back. That's like the whole point. That helps the competitive. I would play. I actually like Rocket League. I went through a phase where, don't tell anyone that I work with, I would sometimes play Rocket League during meetings just to get my head in the right space. It's a fun game.
Wait, what do you mean to get your head in the right space? Like, why Rocket League specifically?
Yeah, I feel like that's a bad game.
No. I like games where I can just
mad.
I can basically like a chameleon splits their eyes. I split my brain. And so one half is doing like creative thinking, sitting there like, okay, what's an idea we can do? And the other half is like killing things in Diablo or just like jumping around in Rocket League. And it's really good.
That's awesome.
Stanz does this, but in the podcast that we have together. But we're recording the podcast, and he thinks he's really subtle, and he's doing this chameleon brain thing that he's talking about.
Yeah, and it helps me think.
He'll just not say anything for like a good 20 minutes, and then all the comments will be like, "Why is Joe talking so much? This is crazy."
And then I'll hit a banger.
Playing Rocket League in the other monitor, bro. It's crazy.
I will not be playing Rocket League during Video Grid, but I will. I'll come up with a good idea, and then. But hey, I think silence is worth it if your words are valuable.
Okay, Rizzo, thank you very much for joining us. Before you go, if you could only show Stanz one clip or moment from Rocket League, what would it be?
Oh, geez.
I'll give you a hint that maybe doesn't have to make it the YouTube video. I haven't shown Stanz the This Is Rocket League clip yet. Because I wanted to give you an easy out. So if you can't think of anything, you could blast that one out.
And I can pretend I haven't seen it. I have seen that. If you have something else, you can watch it. Otherwise, I'll pretend I'm like, holy shit.
I was about to say.
For everything.
Yeah, this will be easy. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, most iconic Rocket League clip is definitely that one. Like that.
It could also be iconic to you, like something that is just like you look back on fondly, or that you think is funny. It doesn't even have to be impressive. It can be just something that you have in the back of your brain when you think about Rocket League.
There's one that actually itches the back of my brain. Let's see. Maybe I can find it. This one actually might be a tough one.
Oof. Take your time.
I can try and help scour the internet if you want, but
should I say it?
You can say it. Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Okay. Wait, do you know what the astral pinch is?
I know. I see it. People in my chat saying it though. There's like 5 or 6 people all saying it.
Oh, that's actually so funny.
Of course. Okay. And can't you don't know what that is?
Actually, not off the top of my head.
Okay. Oh, we're both gonna learn something today.
It was at oh my god, what's the? How'd you work with the Stanz? What's the big studio? No, the studio that was like they ran tournaments in Smash and.
Oh, BTS. It was at a Rocket League Summit, maybe.
Yes, it was at a Rocket League Beyond the Summit. And I'm trying to find the clip.
Ooh.
But I don't even I can't find it. It's not titled as I thought it would be titled, so it's.
We can have chat help too. Chat.
Somebody needs to find the astral pinch. Oh, I just found it. And I found it from a YouTube. Okay. I found it from a YouTube comment. I saw this go live and it blew my fucking mind. The greatest thing I've ever seen. So the reason why I say this, let me timestamp it too. So the reason I say that this itches the back of my brain is because this haunts my dreams.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is something that I have never been able to let go. And chat never lets me let go of it. And people still bring it up to this day. Basically, like a Cuxier pinch is like all the way across the map. This specific one, just absolutely unheard of. The angle that this goes in makes zero sense. And now I'm known as the astral pinch guy.
Oh no. Okay, here I'll share my screen with you guys. So
that's perfect.
Yeah, we can watch it together.
What is the context here? What is going on? Team Squishy, Team Kid?
This is at BTS, and the context of this is it was like Oh, it wasn't random teams. It was a captain's draft. So Squishy drafted the entire G2 roster, and K-Dop drafted I don't know, not a team, but these were the players who were.
Well, really, because it's 1-1 right now in grand finals, so not a team. Excuse me.
No. It's like Team K-Dop has 6 players. Team Squishy has 6 players. You have to choose 3 to play at the time.
Oh, I see. You meant like not a team of 3 teammates. I thought you meant like they were scrubs or something.
But it just so happens that G2 is all playing at one time.
Yeah.
And we're trying to beat this team of 3 non-team.
Yeah, players that may not have
the
synergy or something. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And so, anyway, so we're the entire G2 roster versus a team of non-synergized players.
So you have nothing to gain, everything to lose for this like silly show match.
Everything to lose, and there's me. You can see me in the back, right? The ball's coming to me. Something big's about to happen. You know I'm about to make a crazy play.
Got it. Let's see it.
Oui. There you go. Good start. Bonjour. I don't know. You're pretty fast at English.
Okay.
Bro, he just did it to you. You were going for the ball.
I don't know. You're pretty
Right
fast at
on my head.
What?
Yeah,
That
and
is
it's
a
just
crazy
such a heavy touch into the corner, and I just think about it to this, like, why did I hit it so hard?
I don't know. You're pretty fast at
He still consistently tries to hit this, and he does on occasion. I've seen it. I've seen more recent clips.
Yeah, I saw
But,
in
look how
trying to
everybody
find
pauses. Everybody pauses, and they're like, huh?
it. There's no way. Yeah, in trying to find that clip, I found clips of him doing it again, but like in just like random matches. So you're right. he is
That was the
pretty
first
good,
time he
respectfully.
hit it, I think.
Oh,
That is
no.
crazy. What an
And he just
insane
did
shot.
it on my head. You know?
Hey, well, what a clip for sharing with us. Thank you
Yeah,
very
thank
much,
you.
Rizzo.
It's very kind of you to share a clip where maybe you were, not on top. But we respect that.
Accidentally, we've bookended you coming on with people scoring goals against you.
Yeah, that is tough. It's you losing, and then we have fun talking to you, and then you getting scored on. But that was your choice, to be clear.
Oh, just to make it better, I also lost this game. So the everything to lose thing, that happened.
Oh, no. Rizzo, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sorry we were late. I'm sorry we kept you for an hour, but I really appreciate you joining. This was awesome, man.
It's all good. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you
it
very
easy.
much, Rizzo.
Yeah,
Take
have
care.
a good one, guys. Cants, just one thing for you. Please get out of plat, man.
You gotta get out of play. You gotta learn some half flips, dude. Bro, next
They're
time
gonna
we
clip
talk.
that now. That's gonna be a soundbite that lives with me for the rest of my life, Rizzo. How
Yeah.
could you do this to me?
I'm sorry, it had to be said, and I felt like I
There's-
was the one who needed to say it.
Yeah, there's gonna be comments like, how could a plat player teach him about Rocket League? Shouldn't he get someone good? It's gonna be so funny. All right, Rizzo, thank
right,
you so
later,
much.
guys.
Thank you, Rizzo.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you
getting
so
out of here.
much.
I'm gonna join
Peace.
the other call, kids.